Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Right, where do I start this week? I put a post on last night, basically telling everybody that I was watching a movie called No One Will Save You. And I think the post read something like pizza for 8 and checking out this movie. So, you lot being you lot, completely misinterpreted deliberately, I know, the expression pizza for 8, thinking it meant pizza for 8 people. Pizza and an orgy at Tones at 8 o'clock was one of them. Sorry to disappoint you. The extent of my wild ways nowadays extends to a film, maybe a bit of telly before bed and a cup of Horlicks. That's about as rock and roll as I get nowadays. So I'm afraid, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there will be no orgies at this address. Sorry to disappoint all you stallions. I don't even know where to go with this. Let's see, what have I got here? Let me start with... oh yeah, you guys like the preview of what's to come last week. I'm going to do that every week now, because obviously if I'm recording on one particular day and it's for 7 days hence, I can sort of put together some kind of a coming attractions thing post. So yeah, I'm glad you like that. Jason P. Oh, I like this preview of what's to come. Chris, now if this doesn't tickle your taste buds, love the preview. So yeah, I'm going to keep that going, guys, because I thought that looked really good. I was quite impressed with that, even though I do say so myself. Right, before I go into anything else, an explanation of last week's complete nightmare. It went down something like this. I finished an hour-long video, which was obviously in two 30-minute segments because that's all this crappy old phone will do. And I went to the laptop back there to set up Windows Photos, which is the software that I've been using to cobble together the videos. And that's all it needs to do, is just join them. It doesn't need to edit them or add fancy effects or tumbling pictures and all this sort of thing. It just needs to join them together, and it was perfect. I'd got the hang of it. I could do it with my eyes shut. Yes, it did fail occasionally. It would get halfway through the process and pack up and I'd have to start it again, but I kind of knew what I was doing with it. Went to it last week, and the interface had completely changed, and there was no sign of the video editor, which was the only bit of software on that program that I used. I tried every toggle, every button, every which way to try and find this thing. I even went online to find out how I could reinstate or restore the program to its original version, and I couldn't find anything. I found one that told you how to restore it. I tried it and it just came back exactly the same. So I basically got panicking a little bit because every night that went by I thought, I'm getting closer to the weekend here, I've got nothing to upload. Even though I've got a video all ready to go, I can't cobble it together, and I sort of got a little bit stressed about it. The other thing is my mum's not been very well this week, so I've had to spend a lot of time up there, so time has been a little bit limited. So Jason kindly messaged me on I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, basically asking if I was okay, because I've been kind of absent from the group. I'd not been sort of joining in with anything or replying to any posts or anything like that. So thanks for that, Jace. I did actually send him a video message back from the works car park because I know I wasn't going to have time to type it all out. So I gave him a rough idea of what was cracking off, which is basically what I'm telling you guys now. So appreciate that, Jace. It's really nice to know that you guys actually notice when I'm not around. So anyway, I digress. Where was I? So basically I've spent what little time I've had this week trying to find a piece of software that I can work with, that I can get used to. I've narrowed it down to two, one called Lightworks and Shotcut, which I've tried to use before and never got very far with. Now the video I uploaded yesterday I actually did with Lightworks. Never used it before. I was basically guessing. I'd watched a couple of tutorials, but none of them seemed to tell you basically how to just join videos together without having to add effects and stuff like that. So it was a complete guessing game, and it came out okay. The intro was fine because I'd done that previously, and I got the main part of the video on there. It didn't put in the clapperboard that I used to divide the two sections of the video up, and it didn't put the thanks for watching little thing at the end. But I got up yesterday morning, had a look at it because I'd left it running overnight, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to upload it and then put the whole thing behind me and start again. And that's exactly what I've done. Lightworks seems to be okay. I think the one I'm actually going to settle on is Shotcut, and there's a reason for that. I bought a video course on a site called Udemy a long time ago, basically roughly when I started doing this. And it was a course on how to construct YouTube videos, how to basically do all the effects and stuff that I wasn't really interested in, but I just wanted a rough idea of how to go about it. And within that course, there is a whole section, an hour's worth of very, very short tutorial videos on Shotcut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working my way through that. I will cobble together what I've got, but the difference being I'm going to try to keep the videos, just for the moment, down to 30 minutes, so that I've just got an intro, a video, and an end, outro, whatever you call it, and none of this sort of clapperboards and outtakes and all this sort of thing, because I think that's what was throwing it out. But I'm going to try that. I know the videos will be shorter on the Saturday, but I may have some good news for you on that a little bit later on. I'll tell you at the end of this one, and we'll see how that goes down. But that's the plan, and that's basically what happened last week. It was a complete nightmare. I'm a creature of habit. If I haven't got a routine and things set in place, I'm crap. I don't know what I'm doing. So when something like that happens, it's like, oh God, now what do I do? And knowing that I wasn't going to have much time, a slight panic set in, and I've had so many lovely messages basically saying don't stress about it. As soon as it stops being fun and you start panicking about it, the fun will go out of it. And you're absolutely right. All of you are absolutely right. So I'm not going to be doing that again. As long as I've got at least 30 minutes of me talking crap, I'll be happy. But we'll see how it goes. As I say, I'll have a little bit more on that a little bit later. Right, let's start. Where are we? Oh, the other thing was my computer didn't like DaVinci Resolve. This is the one that everybody was recommending to me. My computer was saying it doesn't have enough memory to cope with it, and I needed to update my graphics card, which I have no clue how to do. So Jace, you're not the only one who's not techie savvy or tech savvy or whatever they call it. I'm afraid people think because I spend loads of time on the computer doing posts and stuff like this that I know what I'm doing. I absolutely do not. If I get anything technical that I really, really do need to solve, I bug Chris because he's normally got the answer because he's in IT. So I normally bug him with things like that. I have no clue, but let's start with comments on last week's video. I'll start with Jason K, our Ginger Ninja. No need to apologise, mate. Yeah, I was basically saying sorry about all the cock-ups last week. You are. Oh, and I was also talking about the fact that every now and then you get the sort of why the hell do I do this feeling, and you are right. We all get that feeling. I just picked up last night in Soho, and like you, heard so much about it, so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm really, really looking forward to this. I get the feeling this is going to be a Saturday nighter. But yes, it is definitely on my watch list, especially with it being on Netflix at the moment. Still trying to find time to get through the series, but I will get there. Like you, time is the thing. Getting time to watch it along with everything else. First world problems. I assume you're talking about Logan's Run. I do need to watch it again. I haven't seen it since it first aired in the sort of mid to late 70s. So I do want to watch it again, definitely. But this time thing, I do get it. I am desperately trying to make more time now to watch more movies and series, and I'm kind of getting there. I'm setting aside things that that I do that don't actually mean an awful lot, and sort of finding more time to watch bits and pieces, which is why I got time to watch the Hood trilogy, which I'll be coming back to at some point. um, let's see. Now, speaking of movies that might be a challenge, you were saying, talk to me. Watched it last night and a really good Aussie horror. But this has some brutal effects, including a gruesome eye scene, and I know what you're like with eye scenes. Great vid as always. Thanks ever so much, G. Really appreciate that. Yes. Here we go again. I went on the parents' guide. I know exactly what this is, and I don't think it's spoiling it because it's pretty much out there now. Basically, a guy tries to tear his own eyeball out and very nearly succeeds. Well, I mean, yeah, I could watch it, but it'd be like this, fingers in ears. I don't want to watch it because it's supposed to be really, really creepy. Um, I don't think I could watch it with Rob because there's a scene with a kangaroo in it that's in distress, so I'm fairly sure he wouldn't get past that. I probably wouldn't get past the eye scene without covering my eyes, but I will give it a look at some point because I've heard it's an amazing film, especially for a first time director of feature length films. I believe these guys used to make YouTube videos, short YouTube films. So for a first time feature, apparently it's a supremely brilliant effort. So I do want to take a look at it, but I will be looking out for that eye scene. Really love that Toxic Avenger trailer you posted, by the way. I haven't seen the original. It's a trauma film, isn't it? Now I know Callie loves her trauma film, so I'm guessing she's probably seen it. And I did actually put it on my watch list ages ago, but like most other films, I never got round to it. But the trailer of that movie looks amazing, and it has made me kind of want to have a look at the original to see what it was like. I don't know much about trauma movies. I know they were very gory, very brutal, quite cheaply made, I believe, and quite cheap looking. Maybe, I don't know. I know a couple of the titles: Class of Nukem High, Toxic Avenger. I think they're the only two actually. But I will take a look at that. And I do need to catch up with your Saw reviews. I want to watch them for the simple reason, I can't believe I'm about to say this, I'm feeling kind of drawn to watch them. I've set myself up for something there, haven't I? I've only ever seen the original. I've seen clips, and I don't know why I did it, but I went on YouTube about a week and a half ago, and there was a clip there from Saw something or other, and I watched it and thought I could just about cope with that. I think it was to do with the 10 most brutal deaths, and I just about made it through it. And I kind of thought maybe I should give them a go with Saw X coming out, which has got something called an eye vacuum. So I'm knackered with that one. But we'll see. But I kind of find myself sort of drawn to at least take a look at them, starting obviously with the first one. But we'll see how we go. But I'm going to watch your reviews first so that I've got a good idea of exactly what I'm letting myself in for, even though I pretty much know what they are like and what they are. They're basically nasty, sadistic films. And as I think it was Simon Mayo said yesterday on his podcast with Mark Kermode, he said he couldn't think of any franchise that, how did he put it now? I can't think of any franchise that he didn't want to waste a single second watching any of them. And a few weeks ago, I'd have said exactly the same thing until I saw that Jason was doing the reviews, and I watched that clip and I thought maybe, possibly, but we'll see how we go. Scott, excellent video, Tony. Loved it, mate. Cheers, Scott. I watched Gregory's Girl for the first time a couple of weeks ago on 4K and really liked it. Thought it was really funny and entertaining. A really good, feel-good movie. Looks great in 4K as well. Gregory's Girl is one of my favourites, as everybody pretty much knows. It's just a charming, funny, coming of age movie set in Scotland, made in 1980. It is one of those films, unfortunately, that you could not make nowadays the way it is then. There are certain scenes, only a couple, and certain lines of dialogue that absolutely would not fly nowadays in today's woke society. Um, but it's a lovely film, Scott. I'm really pleased you've caught up with that one. It's one of my favourites. I actually love the soundtrack to it, and I will be purchasing it on 4K because I believe it's got an isolated soundtrack with just the music, which I would love to transfer onto some kind of an MP3 and play in the car. I love the music in that. It's pretty basic stuff, but I just thought it was lovely, and the film itself was great. I also can't get on with modern music. I really dislike most songs that get played on the radio recently. I've been over this so many times. I can't stand today's music. I don't have any connection with it. I remember in the 80s, and funny enough, we were watching old episodes of Top of the Pops a couple of nights ago from like 1980, and we both pretty much agreed that every single song that was on these shows was just pure gold, and neither of us could name a single artist or song that's in the charts nowadays. Does the charts even exist anymore? I don't know. But it was just great watching a music program where you knew everything, and they were all brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the other thing is, and we agreed on this as well, that every artist or band had a distinctive look. They all looked different. I know you had like the New Romantics and the Punks, and they tended to look not so much the same, but they did a little bit. But most of the time, everybody looked different. Nowadays, they all look the damn same. I can't. No, modern music, it's just not for me. I'm just more into the older stuff. 60s, 70s, and 80s music is where it's at for me. Quite agree. Some 90s and 2000s was decent as well. I think that's where I started to lose interest, was the 2000s. I think some of the early Ibiza stuff was amazing. I think I was going through a midlife crisis about that time. I don't know, but I thought some of that was great. But after that, could I name anybody today? Probably 5 or 6, but I'd be lucky if I made it that far. Let's see. So glad you enjoyed my Q&A video. Yeah, no worries at all, mate. I would love to hear your answers to my questions. I don't mind you taking them at all. Would be great to hear your thoughts. Awesome stuff, man. Basically, I asked him whether he would mind. He did a Q&A video, which was just open to anybody, and just sent him questions. And I thought, at the time I was watching it, I thought, I would love that. So I sort of, I asked him I either asked him on last week's video or I messaged him, I can't remember, asking him whether he'd mind if I nicked his questions. So hopefully next week I'll sort of write those questions down, or put them on my notes here, and I'll be answering those questions. I mean, it's always open to you guys. If you ever want to ask me anything movie related, feel free. As I've always said, the more I've got to talk about on this thing, the better. I mean, I'm barely through last week's messages, and I'm sort of 18 minutes into it. So this is brilliant. I love this. Let's see. Would be great to hear your thoughts. Oh yeah, you got Time Crimes and The Keeper. They just appealed to me, and they did. I like the sound of Time Crimes. I get the feeling I'm not going to get it. And The Keeper it sounds like a good true story. So I thought, why not? They only cost me a couple of quid each, so I thought, sod it, why not? So yeah, looking forward to taking those in. Hope you enjoyed them. Make both great films. I think you'll have a good time with them. Awesome stuff, Tony. Cheers, Scott. Appreciate that, mate. Really enjoyed, by the way, your underrated movies video that you did a couple of nights ago. I'll be talking about that one next week. I forgot to make notes on what they were, but there were definitely some movies that I'm going to be taking on board, a couple that I'd never heard of. So I'll be talking about that one next week, mate. Guy, tea, toast, tobacco and Tony time, terrific. We aim to please. I got the Equalizer completely wrong. I don't know. This is what you get when you're talking to somebody that's never actually seen what they're talking about. The Equalizer, I automatically assumed, and mostly from the title, and mostly from the fact that sort of Edward Woodward was in it, and he played Callum um, in the 70s. I automatically assumed he was going to be a Charles Bronson Death Wish type character, and he wasn't. Um, let's see, Robert McCall is an ex-CIA spook. What the hell's a spook? You got me on that one. Um, but yeah, I mean, I will sort of take a couple of episodes of it in and see how I get on with it. I can track a couple of episodes down on YouTube or something, I'm sure, and I'll have a look at it. As for the movies, I don't know. I've heard they're particularly brutal, especially the second one is really, really nasty. So I'm not really sure how I get on with those, but maybe, possibly. And you asked me, oh, question, did you ever sort out a memory card for your fancy video camera? No. Well, I did, kind of. I bought one. I gave it to Dave Lowe for a couple of days to see whether he could make head and tail of how it worked. Now, he's pretty tech savvy with things like that. He knows what he's doing, but even he couldn't do it. So I took it back, and it's sat in that cupboard ever since, and it will be going to the animal charity, the RSPCA, with all the other bits and pieces that I've been chucking out. It's of no use, and as you said, you got sold. It looks like you got sold a lemon. I got sold a whole bag of bloody lemons with that one. I thought it was a good idea, and I still want to do it. I do want to get something better, but at the moment, this is serving its purpose. You know what I mean? I know it's a crappy old phone, but all it's got to do is sit in front of me for 30 minutes a week or an hour a week or whatever, and it does that just fine. So at some point I will start investing in proper equipment, like proper lighting. All I've got is obviously this desk lamp by the side of me. I can't open the curtains behind me because the light is too strong. It makes me head shine. That's not good. So yeah, I will start investing in some little bits when I get more into this YouTube course, which I'm not just looking at the shortcut section, I'm looking at the rest of it as well, just to see if there's anything I can take on board. I won't be, as I say, doing the tumbling pictures and all this sort of thing. I can't be arsed with all that. Chris, welcome back from your holiday, dude. Still suffering with African belly and insomnia. First morning home and I get Tony time as a cure. This was a pleasant surprise. I'm not sure how to take that. I'm better than Imodium by the sounds of it. So, yeah, I'm really pleased about that. My question is, if you had to remake a horror movie to entice viewers of today, which one would you like to see done? This is either a great film or one where the premise was good but the execution failed. Thanks again for helping with this early morning. Appreciate that, mate. You're more than welcome. I'm going to answer this one next week. I need some time to think about this one. There are so many remakes of horror movies, well, movies generally, that have failed. One that springs to mind is The Fog, the remake of the John Carpenter classic. My God, that was... I mean, the excuse is when they start remaking movies, we want to introduce it to a new generation. Why? Just show them the original. There's nothing wrong with it. It still makes you jump in all the right places. It's as grim as fuck. Why on earth would you want to remake something like The Fog? The other one I've heard is in the works is a remake of Escape from New York. I'll come on to that at some point because I've got a little bit of a story about that one. I'll either do that later or on next week's. But give me time to think on that one, Chris, and I'll come up with something. The Fog is definitely one of them, but I wouldn't recommend remaking that one again. Definitely not. And no matter what they remade, it wouldn't have the charm or the eeriness of the originals. So, but I'll come up with something. Leave that one with me, mate. Jason P. Let's see. Jason, I'll watch later tonight and give you something to talk about. Grandad duty today. You kept away from Barbie this week, didn't you? I'll bet you. Clifford the big red dog today. Barbie will not see the light of day on my TV again. Great vid, mate. Cheers, Jason. You just want to eradicate the whole memory of Barbie ever, don't you? You just don't want to. I will take a look at it, but I'm going to take your advice. I'm not going to purchase it on 4K. I will watch it, but not when it costs me anything. I think you know where I'm going with that one, don't you? Summer of Sam is excellent. seen it a few times now. I definitely want to watch this. I've not seen a Spike Lee film before, and that was the one that really piqued my interest when I read about it. So I'm going to be taking that one in. I mentioned rap music. It was probably to do with the Hood trilogy, and I was talking about the first time I ever heard rap, and I thought it was literally bollocks. And I couldn't remember the title. It was Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. I remember it well, unfortunately, because it opened the floodgates for everybody else to do it, and it's never been the same since. You have to see the Equalizer trilogy. Brilliant movies. You've not seen 3 yet, but I shall be buying it on Blu-ray on November the 6th when it comes out. You do that. You actually buy movies blind. I mean, The Equalizer 3 has got amazing reviews. If you like that sort of thing, I think you're really going to get on with it. I get the feeling Guy will enjoy it as well. He's into all that. If I can avoid it on the dodgy stick, it's streaming from October the 4th. Yeah, you see, that's going to be difficult, isn't it? If it's on there, you're going to go for it, aren't you? Now that you've watched the Hood movies, I think Mark should return the favour and watch a Carry On movie. I think you'd love them, Mark. I really, really do. I think you'd love the Carry On movies. They're charming. They're just good fun. So yeah, absolutely. I would say watch a Carry On movie. I'll throw the question out to all of you. Which one do you think you should watch? I'm going to say Carry On at Your Convenience, because I think that's brilliant. Or Carry On Camping, which is the quintessential Carry On movie. To me, those two are the best. So what do you guys think? Pain and Gain is good, partly based on a true story. Yeah, looking forward to having a look at that one. It's over 2 hours, so I need to find time to watch that one properly. It's not what I thought it was going to be. When I read the back, I thought, well, yeah, that sounds okay. Keep up the good work and look after yourself. Cheers, Jace, much appreciate it. I love your man cave video, by the way. My God, I was so jealous of that. It looks amazing. You got everything. You got figures, you got framed photos, you got posters, thousands of discs, and I'll bet you still walk in there sometimes and think, I can't find anything to watch. Oh God, yeah, I love it. I mean, with all those discs, mate, you could easily do a top 5 video once every now and then, connected by a certain theme or something. They don't even have to be long, like we've said before, just a couple of minutes. But now you've done that 10-minute one that you did a couple of months ago. You're flying, mate. You're flying. I think you could do that with all those movies. You could do even a top 3, movies by a certain director, or movies on a certain theme. Have a think about it, dude. I would love to see that. And I also love the idea of all of us doing our own top 100 TV programs. Yeah, I am absolutely completely up for that. I've already been thinking about it. And I'm going to start downloading posters and doing things for January. So yeah, I get the feeling we'll all be up for that. So I'm going to make a start, and I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Right, I'm going to sign off. I've got one more comment. It's Mark's, but you will get that tomorrow, because what I've decided to do, as I said, keep the videos down to 30 minutes. But if it runs over, like this one is going to run well over, I'm going to do 2 30-minute videos, one for Saturday, and the Sunday service is coming back. It seemed a shame to dump it, it really did. But that's how it goes sometimes. You have to let things go, and you probably don't want to. But yeah, the Sunday service is coming back. I'm going to record it in a few minutes, and that will drop at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. So you'll have this one Saturday and the Sunday service on Sunday. Sorry, it was a late night last night. I ended up watching Damien Omen 2 for about the 10th time, even though it was on my mind to watch the Lon Chaney Wolfman movie, the original Universal horror. But I was flicking through Disney Plus and saw Damien Omen 2, and I thought, oh, just watch a few minutes of it until I fall asleep, and ended up watching the whole damn thing again. So yeah, it was quite a late night last night. So thanks for joining me, folks. I'm hoping that the software problem is hopefully now resolved. Yeah, have a brilliant Saturday. I have to think about which one I'm doing now. Have a brilliant Saturday, folks, and I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with Mark's comment and a few other bits and pieces that I've not had time for today. Enjoy your Saturday, folks, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Ta-da.